Yeah, I mean, I think it goes over 20,000, and I have done for a long time. And there's a potential for even further because of the staking dynamics and stuff. But my general view is that it goes to 20,000. So, yeah, I think it goes further and higher than most people imagine. It's fascinating. So my structure of how I built my portfolio is I started with Bitcoin, moved into Ethereum, switched most of my Bitcoin into Ethereum. And then I built a basket of alternatives, and I just took an equally weighted basket of like 10, large cap, because I don't know, you know. And then I watched it. I added Solana at some point into that. And didn't do anything else, just left it like that. What's fascinating is my second largest holding now, from an equally weighted basket, second to Ethereum, Sandbox. I haven't bought any. It just went up 20x in the last month and a half, which is crazy. I mean, I would not have my second largest. I would not take that position, the second largest position in Sandbox, but that's where it is. And I'm not rebalancing for the time being. I'm just letting this phase play out and see where these things go. So yes, it's a mix. And so I've got some DeFi protocols, the usual Aave and whatever, stuff like Uniswap. And then I've got stuff like Polkadot, just all the stuff you'd expect. Nothing interesting. It gets interesting because I put Metaverse bets on 6 months ago. Those things exploded, Decentraland and Sandbox. And I have some social token bets with Chili's and Rally. So those are slightly different because they're more macro thematic bets of what I think future things are. But it's hard now with Sandbox because it's gone up so much. It's like, do I have enough conviction to have my second largest position in this? Metcalfe's law basically values the network on the number of nodes on the network, and they're basically that number of connections between the nodes. So let's say you're an owner of Bitcoin, which I am. You are highly incentivized to protect the network at all costs and to spread the gospel of the network. Because the more people join the network, the more the value of the network goes up. But that's behavioral incentive 101. That's behavioral economics. So it's incredibly powerful. So it will always drive people who only see that one thing. Because A, it's given them some return, and they want to defend it at all costs. And we see that it remains tribal because of the element of tokens. If it was a technology and share prices, it's different because you're not part of the network. You're just a passive owner of the shares. But tokenization is different. You're an active owner of a network and participant. I have no emotion about does Solana become a larger network. It's a trade-off between centralization and decentralization. The reason the gas fees are so expensive in Ethereum is because it's so popular. So that opens up opportunities for other chains. Do they become a chain that ends up being larger than Ethereum? Who the hell knows? And it doesn't really matter. People take it like it's a personal thing. It's like, do I care whether Google is bigger than Apple or Apple bigger? No. They're all going to exist. If you can show me the network dying in Ethereum and network growth slowing, then that's a serious issue. If it's not, then it's not. Right now, it's highly observable that the Ethereum network is growing faster than the Bitcoin network, and Solana and Terra and Avalanche are growing faster than Ethereum, but from a lower base. That's fine. So they're all growing. And the Bitcoin network is growing. So every one of those is growing. And so at this stage, it doesn't matter. Ethereum is so deep and so rich an ecosystem with a number of people building on it that it's incredibly powerful. And everybody has to realize is whatever people think the narrative is in Bitcoin about Bitcoin being money, the reality is the medium of exchange in Web 3.0 is ETH. I mean,
all NFTs are priced in ETH. Sotheby's are doing art auctions in ETH. DeFi is based in ETH generally. The Metaverse is in ETH. I even commissioned a headquarters for Real Vision in Crypto Voxels. We got a Metaverse architects firm to build it. They charge us an ETH. So ETH is money right now. Does it always remain money? Who knows? But right now, nobody pays each other in Web 3.0 and Bitcoin. Literally nobody. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes over 20,000, and I have done for a long time. And there's a potential for even further because of the staking dynamics and stuff. But my general view is that it goes to 20,000. That was, and I say that with a relative level of confidence. That's just a repeat of what Bitcoin did in 2017. It kind of overlays pretty well. It's not perfect. It was perfect for a while. The charts were like spooky tick for tick. Now they're not, but contextually kind of makes sense for me. It's only a 4x from here. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin do 4x or ETH last cycle did, 4x, 5x, 6x in the last month of the year. So who knows? I think the cycle extends anyway. I think it's not going to be the same Bitcoin halving cycle that we've seen. I think it's changed because of the nature of people who are in the market now as well, with the institutions coming in and others. So yeah, I think it goes further and higher than most people imagine. I think mid next year. I think it's somewhere around if ETH we've just discussed is so important to the current environment of where we are, arguably it's more important than Bitcoin because of how much is being built on it and is driving prices because of NFTs and DeFi and all these things moving the price of ETH. Then the ETH 2.0 staking, whenever that happens, and not the staking, the release of ETH 2.0, I think around that is the moment, because you kind of know. I know people I've been arguing a bit on Twitter about this. I've always said that the moment it's released is probably a buy the rumor, sell the fact, and everyone's like, yeah, but my ETH's already going to be locked for a longer period. But I can front run you, because I know you have to sell your ETH. You might sell your ETH as soon as you're unlocked. So why would I give you the benefit of higher prices to sell into? Markets know positions. So there's nothing worse than ETH 2.0 out, you're still locked, and I get to sell because I didn't stake, and you're trapped watching the prices fall. Bitcoin's adoption is relentless for different reasons. It's a great balance sheet asset. It's a savings asset. It's a long-term vehicle. It has that, incredible qualities to it. And I think adoption just continues relentlessly over time. So I don't see any change to that whatsoever, even if the layer 2 doesn't really take off, even if they don't build smart contracts on it, I don't think it matters. I think Bitcoin has its value proposition and people are pretty comfortable with it. And it's very different to Ethereum. It stands in its own, and it's universally accepted for what it is. So my price prediction is, I still think it gets to about somewhere between 200,000 and 300,000.